Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Honorable Marvin Coop Show, still presented by No Big Deal. I got my homies with me. I got my man Andre, the sportsman, and my man Jwilliii the third. What's going on, fellas?
Man, just happy to be back on the show, man.
Yes,
We
sir.
family and we's back.
Yes,
Appreciate you,
Dre, I
appreciate
like that background. What made you pick out that background? What you believing in, man?
you. Yes,
Believe
I like that. I like that,
we
Dre.
are it is the first one to four, not three, and until the final buzzer sounds and you have the lead on us, it is not over.
You know,
Believe.
Dre, I know the Celtics haven't been officially buried yet, but the first stage of grief is denial, so
Mhm.
I'll
Don't
be in my
worry.
prayer.
Dre, hold on one second. I want you to write this number down. You ready?
Yes, sir, ski.
All right.
Is it 911?
No, 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 it's not 911. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
It is 718
718.
553.
Ah shit, hold up. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
My bad, hold on. I feel like this is going somewhere, but I'm gonna play along. All right, what was it again?
It's 718
718
553
553
0438.
0438.
That is the best psychiatrist. You're gonna need her real soon.
You're
So
fucking hilarious.
call her and she's gonna help you. I already told her that you will be, and she's
You're
just,
freaking
and
hilarious,
you want to
bro.
know something? I talked to her last night. She is a fellow Knicks fan, so she's gonna try to help you get through your little problems there,
Yo.
buddy. So
Bro, you're
I told her I was going that I knew a Boston fan. She was like, "Oh, what?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give him a number so we go."
so 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 don't laugh even hard. Don't laugh when I actually end up calling her. Because it will be posted on Instagram.
It's all good, bro. So, let's get into this ridiculous draft lottery. Jay Will, before we was really interrupted by weather. Speak to me, please, brother. What's going on?
It's very, very frustrating
Yeah.
as a Bulls fan. First off, I'll say this every single year. We're always getting hold in the lottery. I feel
Mm.
like since 2010 or 2009, whenever D Rose was drafted. Since then, and mind you, we've only had those good couple few years, and then the rest has kind of been really kind of bad years.
Mhm.
Since then, we've been in the lottery, I believe, a lottery team about 11 times. We've
Damn.
only had a top five pick once outside of D Rose, and
That's
it was wasted on Patrick Williams, who we
mm,
recently just gave $90 million. So, I mean, I expected as a Bulls fan, we were projected as a 12th, we got 12th. I mean, I can't be too upset about it, but it's just like when I see the NBA give a team like the Dallas Mavericks the number one pick, mind you, looking at them this year, they finished 39 and 43. They're pretty solid to start off the year. All of a sudden, they trade away their top talent and Luka Doncic overnight to the biggest market in sports, one of the biggest markets, excuse me. It just kind of seems like Adam Silver is trying to give Dallas a little band-aid by gifting them the number one pick. And I feel like teams like the Hornets, Jazz, and Wizards, they finished fourth, fifth, and sixth.
right.
And I'm like, okay. I see the Spurs somehow magically jumped up and got that number two spot.
Yeah,
Crazy.
So
they
now,
did go. Yeah.
so now it just seems like they're also trying to help out Wemby in San Antonio. And plus, somehow the 76ers got the three seed. To me, this is this is just nasty, nasty work. Like I'm not one of those guys who sits here and be like, oh, this is rigged, this is rigged. But I just feel like I see this too consistently in the NBA lottery to like it's like, all right, now it's starting to become a little bit noticeable. Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. Um, if you guys remember in 2008 or 2009, the failed CP3 trade to the Lakers, that New Orleans market was extremely struggling financially. All of a sudden, they
Mhm.
get the number one pick. Um,
And it
you
seems
know,
crazy that I'm glad you brought that up. Ain't it funny how Anthony Davis is involved in all of these? So 2011 traded Chris Paul to LA. You give the Hornets the number one pick. Then all of a sudden, 2019 traded Anthony Davis to LA. Then you give New Orleans again. the number one pick.
Exactly.
So you traded Luka to LA. Then all of a sudden, boom, you give Dallas the number one pick. So what's going on here? That's insane.
All it
It's,
tells me really is that the NBA is holding a lot of teams' hands and
it
just saying
is.
others, in my opinion.
It is.
It's
It
crazy.
is.
Because I mean, even last year or 2 years ago, you could even say Wemby's to the Spurs, even though it wasn't crazy. I feel like nobody saw it was like any shot that he would have went to Detroit or the Hornets. I feel like everybody knew it was going to be the Spurs just because that was the best fit out of those
For
four teams.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it just seems like it's almost sad, man.
it
It just feels
is.
like the way the draft is set up is so obvious. And I hope more and more people come out and talk about it because I mean, even LeBron was laughing on Twitter about it.
Yeah,
Like, and when I figure out like LeBron is on your head about it, it's kind of hard for them to hide their hand.
yeah.
And but it is what it is. I guess Cooper Flag, Nico got blessed. He's going to Dallas. Probably saves his job for a little longer.
Mm. Yeah, I feel like that was a job saver as well. So
Yeah,
you're going to
because
get a future superstar out of it. But still don't think he's going to be that superstar status. But we'll talk about that another episode. Do not believe in Cooper Flag.
I don't know about all that, but like you said, we'll talk about it in another episode.
Yeah, oh yeah, we will. We'll get into that. So that's out the way. Um, so I was talking to an NBA fan this morning about Giannis. He feels Giannis is not going to stay. Where do y'all feel Giannis could go or get traded to?
Well, it was, and I mean, again, it's only a projection, and that can change at any point in time.
Yeah.
But I know, projectedly, he was looking at for sure like a possible New York City or an LA.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I mean, the Lakers need a big, so I can understand if he was to go there. But dang, and then the Knicks, you guys, do you feel like he would be a good fit for you guys?
I feel like he could, but what we got to give up for him? Because Giannis is technically still under contract. He's
You
not a
think
free agent.
you think you would give up Towns for him?
It would be Townsend and a few other people in future draft picks. I don't know about giving up our draft picks though.
Man, I could definitely see him go, and that's what I'm saying. Both teams would benefit with getting him on there.
I mean, teams like, even though they just made a deep run, the Thunder could possibly give up like
Mm.
a Jalen Williams, the other two, both Jalen Williams actually, Nikola Topic, future draft picks of the 2026 and the 2028. They have the things to give, like get him, and like sorry teams like Toronto. And I think the Cavs could probably trade for him too, like Garland and Allen, for some future couple years picks down the line. And then it's possible like the Spurs. Spurs got a lot to give up too. They can give up Vassell, Keto Johnson, and stuff like that. They have a lot to give up. Like teams like that. The Rockets can give up Dylan Brooks and a possible 2027 first round pick. They can give up a lot, you know.
So there's teams that can, outside of just those two organizations,
Yeah, that can really trade for Giannis and
and
get
make
him.
use of it.
Yeah, I just wanted to know y'all thoughts on that.
I just
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
no, you're fine. I think it's just funny. I know there's a lot of rumors about Giannis leaving. I don't think if he leaves, it will be this year. I feel like it'd be one of those things we have to talk about again, and maybe maybe next off season or the off season after.
Yeah,
I don't think I think just because we've always heard the rumors quietly for the few years now, and now it's starting to pick up steam. I feel like people is kind of reaching a little bit for it. To me, it's until Giannis actually sits down and requests us a trade. Because right now he just said he was open to the mindset. He didn't say, "Hey, I'm going to leave Milwaukee this year. They're out the window, they're out the picture." He's just saying, "Hey, I'm actually just going to peek at the market just to make sure there isn't anything that
yeah.
may tempt a little bit." I feel like if you do trade him, it's going to be for opposing teams. It's going to be hard because we're talking about,
Pause.
uh, yeah, because we're talking about a former MVP, a former champion who you could even still argue is like in his peak or prime. And I don't know. Giannis trade package may be like extremely like out of this world. Like we talk
Yeah,
about like how big KD East was. Pause again. Like his trade deal was also it was a lot.
it
And for a
is.
guy like Giannis, who of course is better than KD was at that time period, right now,
Right.
I can only see maybe like you said the Thunder because they have the picks and they can definitely afford to let go of some of those guys, even if it's like a Chet. You
Hmm.
know, I
And
think they
Giannis is going to want to contend too.
yeah, and not only that too, but teams trading for Giannis, they want to contend. So they're like, for instance, like if he wants to go to the Spurs, obviously the Spurs are not going to give up Wemby or anything like that.
Nah,
But
but they
it's
still got players like Vessel and Johnson.
yeah, but my fear is that the Bucks are going to like put Giannis on a scale that we've never seen before when it comes to trade value, and it's going
Hmm.
to hurt them a little bit, you know. But like I said, I still think this is a conversation that we may need to have in like a year or two. I
Yeah,
think people are kind of overlooking the news just because it is Giannis. But like I said, right now I could see the Thunder, maybe Spurs because they do have potential in those picks, and depending on what players you give them, I feel like you have to get rid of like a Sam Castle,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can get
Steven
probably
Jackson.
like four players and some picks. I'm talking
Yeah.
about teams like, and then teams like Toronto who don't even get a damn, didn't have no luck in the lottery. They could probably
At all.
like, what's his name? My man Grady D. I don't want to say his last name. Uh,
But even
I'm
that's
telling
why
you, teams like they can give up four players plus draft picks. So don't look, be expected for like somebody like Toronto to do something like that.
my
You know what I
thing is
mean? Because they
Toronto's
go, go ahead.
they're, they're tricky. I only say they're tricky because just them being not in the U.S. actual market and being a Canadian-based team,
Hmm.
I'd be scared if I'm Toronto that if I trade for Giannis, he's just going to want to bounce whenever he can, kind of like Kawhi did. Like, Kawhi got them the ring, great, but obviously there was no longevity in that trade whatsoever, you know.
Yeah,
But, it all just depends. It depends on how Giannis looks at Canada, I guess, because he is a foreign player, so
right.
much.
But like you said, Jay Will, we got to actually, because right now all that's being said is like you said, he's got an open mind or he's projected to go here. So until I hear him actually come out and say, pause, say, hey, I'm now ready for a trade. Until he is ready to, until he is actually ready to commit, then I would start putting out those offers. But all this projection and this, that, and the third,
Hmm.
it's just noise.
Yeah.
So let's go to there. Then. Teams who got out the first round. What's next for them? So Bucks. What's next for them?
I think we just said it. Sure, you got Giannis back for next season. I feel like that's the number one thing.
Hmm.
I think secondly, you gotta if Cal Kuzma is gonna be your third best player, you're gonna have to put some guys around Giannis. You're really gonna have to spend some time in the off season and getting a couple of role players, maybe even like an actual like depending on how Dame is, because I think he's probably out next year. You may even have to go get you another point guard. I
Yeah.
feel like right now, if you're the Bucks, you're in a really bad. I wouldn't say necessarily bad. I'll take that back, but a really awkward spot, just because you have that superstar who is actually peaking outside the window, trying to maybe see what's best. Your second best player in Dame is out for the year already. It just seems like this could spill over bad for Milwaukee right now. So if I'm
Hmm.
Milwaukee, I maybe try to replace Dame with a decent point guard and try to put some solid pieces around Giannis. But even ultimately, then I don't even think an Eastern Conference Finals appearance would like just please Giannis. I feel like he wants to win.
He
Yeah.
wants to win all of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But most importantly, I really do think like you kind of hit the nail on the head when you said a point guard. Not necessarily saying Dame is done or anything like that, but like you said, he's hurt. Um, and they're gonna need to shop for that position because that is a very important position to your team. Obviously, they can make other moves around as well, but I think they got to find themselves a point guard. And number two, Kyle Kuzma, man, you're gonna have to put up points, man. You're gonna have to help them. help me help you kind of thing. Because what was it, 0.0 blocks and steals in 21 minutes or something? Like you can't do that.
Mhm.
But my issue with Kuzma too is that it's another consistent, inconsistent player. One game he can give you 25, 12, and 8, and then the next game he'll give you in the scoring production, he'll give you 12
Yeah,
or
I
less.
I agree with you, Drake. Unless you have 0, 0, 0 across that board, unless you did not play, that is unacceptable for an NBA player to not have zero stats if you played 22 minutes. That is unacceptable in my book. We're paying you millions of dollars. Step your game up now, man.
This is not high school.
Yeah, you sitting here looking like the Golden Lords from Meteor Man. You need to step
And
up and play some basketball, brother. I'm sorry, but this is not gonna fly here.
I'm
Step,
sure oh, my bad.
you good?
I was just going to say, and I'm sure, obviously, he probably blocks out the outside noise, but I'm sure he does catch some of it. And it's like, if you're getting tired of hearing the same thing about you,
Mm-hmm.
do something about it, and then we'll shut up.
Should the
That's what happened.
Bucks try to trade up in the top 10?
I don't know if this draft class is that deep to even want to do that though.
I don't think so either.
Like
Hey, who?
outside of like 5 guys, I'm just not crazy about anybody else.
I was gonna tell you, Jay. Well, I'm looking. I ain't gonna lie to you. I tried to do a mock draft of the NBA. I was only able to get to like 14 people who I think would be decent.
It's
And
like
I,
who?
yeah, and I'm like, okay, let me stop this. That's why I was like, maybe in a few weeks I will do a mock show with you. But
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, who the hell is these people? I was like, okay, this ain't
I'm
And
gonna
sure
Quinn, I
Jay
don't.
Will already has a mock draft printed out already.
right.
It's hard because I feel like when I looked at this draft, the first like 18 picks is you are either an international player, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I watch international basketball or lie to you like that,
Yeah,
or they're just flat out freshmen.
yeah,
That's crazy to me. Like the first 18 picks, you're either an international player or you're a freshman, and that's just I don't like that.
yeah. It's like I said, it's going international now, so I'm not quite sure. I get what you're saying. I just figured I'd ask that question. All right, what about the Pistons? What's next for the Pistons?
Honestly, just continue on their growth and keep building at this point. Don't, well, obviously, you don't want to make too many tweaks because you still want to be able to get through the playoffs, but also next year will be different, obviously.
Yeah.
So you want to make some tweaks, but I think this is a team that just needs to keep building and keep the continuity going, build around Cade. Like I said, that team is well rounded and they're going to be good in the future. They just got to keep building. They just got to build on their process, on their success.
I feel like Dre, I like what you said. To me, the main thing with this team, just keep maturing. I feel like this is a good team, but I feel like people forget this is a young team as well. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they're finally blossoming into what they could potentially be. My best advice, don't try to, if you can, try to keep these guys together. Don't alter it. Just let
Yeah.
them
Don't do too much or don't do too little.
exactly. Don't try to do anything. I feel like if I'm the Knicks or the Knicks, if I'm the Pistons, excuse me, I am 100% satisfied with how this season went, and I feel like it's only upwards from here.
Um, my thought on the Pistons is the team, I'm not gonna lie, is perfect. Once again, I told y'all, I don't know if y'all can hear me. JB is really not that guy. He's a regular season coach. I've been telling y'all that. He's done this with the Cavs, but he cannot get you in the hump of the playoffs. That's my concern for the Pistons right now. Is the coach. Team is great. Don't get me wrong. Team is great. And he got him to the playoffs. I get that. But he's
It's the
not the
coach.
person to get you to off the hump to a finals or something like that. I just don't trust him just yet.
So you think that's just their only missing piece right now is a coach
I mean, running back, see what he can do next year. But I'm just trying to tell y'all from
experience.
Seeing the Cavs and how talented they were, they just didn't have no structure, no discipline. They was all over in the playoffs and still couldn't win the series.
Yeah.
And then almost like I said last year, you struggled with an Orlando match. So,
But they were hurt though, so I give them that benefit of the doubt.
hmm.
But I think both their bigs were out. was it against was the Celtics last year that they lost to, Dre?
Yeah, Celtics. I think
Hmm.
Celtics are. Yeah, but
I
I'm just
remember.
saying, like the first series was when you could have really like ran through the Magic. They was kind of pause small too. You could have ran through them like that, but we struggled with. It. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I just don't trust JB just yet.
Yeah, I feel like JB is one of those guys, especially like a lot of coaches in this league. He just hasn't proven that he can actually do it.
Mhm.
I think he can, but he's gonna have to show me. I want to see the growth happen.
Yeah,
So it's like I said, a lot of coaches they haven't won or gone as far, but once again, his team is growing. Same like you said in Cleveland. His team gradually got better as he was there, mainly because of the talent was maturing. But once again, you got to win with that talent that you have. So
yeah,
I
I agree.
do see what.
I agree. Um, not too much to really say on this team. Injury bug just caught them. Magic. I feel like they should just run it back. But everybody coming back next year healthy. I feel like they have the pieces to really make it. Not to a finals or nothing, but they have a chance to really go deep in the playoff pause. The thing is this, maybe add a few more role players that are hungry for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they
So
got a scrappy defense too
yeah, they
this year.
got a hella scrappy defense.
Even though it was only in the first half and we were able to still able to come back, but again, it was only in the first half. But the Celtics had a 12-point lead in the late in the second, and then come halftime, bro, the shit was like the lead was already evaporated, and I was like, wait a minute, what
Mhm.
happened? But like you said, they started the season really good too, and
Yeah.
it was just that injury bug that caught him at the end.
I think the main thing that
And
this
Bankero was on point.
oh, yeah, no, I can't. Yeah, he was balling. I was excited to see him in the playoffs this
Mm,
year.
me too.
But I feel like the main thing for the Magics to me feels like they're missing that veteran leadership. I really
Yes.
want them to go out and get a guy who has been around the NBA long enough to know the ins and out. A guy who maybe has even won a chip, that has been on these long playoff runs. Something that can you can throw into that team and kind of motivate them to do the same. Because I feel like looking at the Magic's roster, is talent is not really the concern for me. It's just more so that they're missing that voice, that veteran leadership, that guy who can kind of step up and the heat of the moment. I feel like
They need
never.
like a Draymond.
No, you perfectly just described Giannis. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. I mean, like that sounds like Giannis. I mean, Draymond cool, but at the end of the day, he's not that guy that's gonna get them to where he needs to be.
Ah,
Draymond Green is a system guy. He's only
Yeah.
gonna work in one system. I don't feel like if you put him on the Magic, he ain't gonna be shit. Just
Yeah.
my honest opinion. But you need that world talent, like Jay Will said earlier, in the Giannis. I was like, wow, he's probably talking about Giannis. Giannis would be perfect over there, honestly. Him and Pablo, dangerous,
I'm scared.
dangerous.
Whoever Giannis teams up with is going to be dangerous in general.
Mhm.
Even think that.
especially if he has the same winning attitude as Giannis.
Yeah. What about the Miami Heat, who shouldn't even been there? What's next for them?
Lord and Savior. Okay, something needs to get figured out here because they just can't be. It's almost like they're okay with being a play-in team. And yes, I know you. They always say, "Well, you still make the playoffs." Yeah, you did. Didn't do shit in the playoffs, but it's just annoying when you know you can. There's areas where you can improve on, and you just sit there and be like, "We're good." Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo will be our saviors the rest of the way. I mean, if you want to keep being a playing team, that's fine. Keep doing that, but at some point, that shit's gonna stop. You're gonna go from a playing team to no playoffs or playing at all. You just can't be settled on just getting there. Sorry, talking too fast. When you go into the off season, you need to make the right moves. Don't rush your choices. Um, it's just it because I don't trust Tyler Hero and I don't trust Adebayo for 80. For a whole 82 games. I just don't see it. Like something has to happen. Do you potentially see Adebayo at some point getting shipped off?
I honestly do see that.
Because I've been
Pat
feeling like I've been having that thought for the last like year or two. I've been thinking like, man, he could get shipped. And again, my bad, and I'll let y'all start. But again, it's more of say he does get shipped off, right? Say he gets traded or whatever. I'm for sure not putting all my faith in just Tyler Hero. We're gonna need some. We're gonna need to build. So they need to start this offseason. It starts this year.
Yeah, I feel like with the Heat, they need to have a plan. What is the plan? Okay, we're gonna run it back with Hero and Adebayo, and maybe put some pieces around them, or are we just gonna say F it, scrap the team, and potentially maybe look at rebuilding or kind of rejuvenating this team? Because right now it just seems that Miami is very, very confused. They seem lost almost without Jimmy Butler. The way Pat Riley was talking a few days ago, talking about some there will be changes. It makes me think nobody on that roster's job is safe right now. So I'm curious to see what they do. But if I'm Pat Riley, I'm not giving up on either players just yet. I still do think that they can potentially work, but I also think they still
They need
they're
the
not
help.
they're not a number one option. I feel like, especially Tyler Hero. Um, I feel like you still maybe need to go out and try to find that number one option. You're in Miami, you're in a good place to market. You're in Florida. Pat Riley kind of gave himself a bad look with Jimmy Butler, that entire situation. But I feel like maybe if you can convince maybe another All Star to go to Miami, then you'd be fine. But that's really, really hard to do. Once again, with that entire Jimmy Butler situation, basically made your owner look like a horrible person. So
That is true, bro. I don't really know what to say with Miami. I'm like them right now. I'm confused just as they are. I wouldn't know what to do if I was in them. So break it up could be an option. Tank this year, get a superstar over there, and possibly Giannis could go there and maybe help Tyler and them after next year. It's a thought. Like I said, I'm not quite sure if this can happen or not. Just a thought, just a prediction. But I think they can clear out and make room for a star. Like you said, Miami is a good market, but not a good team.
yeah.
You
And
know.
I feel like Pat Riley's at that point too, where he kind of feels those walls closing in, and it's like, all right, this is not Miami basketball. Miami basketball is getting that third or fourth seed, maybe higher. We don't our brand of basketball is not being in the play-in. So I feel like Pat Riley now is starting to realize that and is like, oh shit needs to start changing. It's gonna start at the top.
Yeah. And you know what's funny, Drake, too? It's like Pat Riley, he's always been a consistent winner. Like
Winner,
nobody's
absolutely.
I don't think anybody has ever tried his hand as much as Jimmy Butler. I also feel like it's going to be more so of an ego thing for him to where it's like, I didn't really need Jimmy Butler anyway. I can do this ish without him. And he's going to try to kind of prove that to himself because once again, Pat Riley has a massive, massive ego. And we've seen
Mhm.
that throughout the season. So I feel like if Pat Riley does have that mindset, then maybe the team isn't doomed because I'm not going to sit here and act like just because that entire situation happened that Pat Riley cannot put that type of team together. I mean, we've
Yeah.
seen him in Miami. We saw him get LeBron. We saw him get Chris Bosh. We saw him win those championships early on. I mean, we know that he's able to bring these guys to Miami. All in all, they just want to win another chip
Right.
is what it feels like. Pat Riley especially. So once again, I feel like Pat Riley has a lot to prove, not necessarily to the fan base, but to himself because of the entire dilemma this year.
The only thing I can say about Pat Riley is never count that man out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been said over and over that he will never get to another finals without D Wade and them. And look what he did. He got to the finals actually twice. Ran into a few big walls at the Eastern Conference Finals with the Boston. He has what it takes to build the team. Never sleep on that man. So I think he gonna definitely do what you just said, Jwilliii. He will definitely prove his point. Try to go out and get that one star. I'm interested to see who it will be, but I look forward to seeing what Miami Heat does in the future.
I want to see
Yep.
them back in contention, honestly.
I don't.
I ain't
I
gonna say all that, you know.
think they're
Nah,
trash.
yeah, I ain't gonna say all that, but
Like you
Well,
said,
just in
Don't be
terms of like
surprised. Don't be
just in
surprised
terms
if
of
he is up there.
yeah, but like I meant that like just in terms of like the competitiveness of Pat Riley, like he knows like what
You
his
know
team is
what? Yeah,
capable of.
you're right, Dre. Let them take Boston's spot, and then they could be like number 2 in the East. So yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, let them take Boston's spot. You're right. You got that right. You're right. You're right.
but
All
all
right.
last thing about Pat Riley too. All I'm gonna say is like I feel like people have to remember this guy under his belt has 9 championships, and I feel like that's a lot.
It's a lot
I
to
think
say.
I can only name like one person who has more, obviously, with Bill Russell. But like right now, he got nine, one as head
John
coach.
Havlicek.
Excuse me, five as a coach. One as an assistant coach, one as a
Damn.
player, two as an executive president. So I mean,
That's an
I'm gonna
impressive resume.
That man's got ring after ring. All he needs one more chip to put on that last thumb.
Honestly, shoot, if Pat Riley were to retire, he'll be in the Hall of Fame right now.
or
That's not even a
No,
thought.
I'm talking about like right now at 6:03 in the evening, he could retire then and be in the Hall of Fame at 6:05. That's how
Oh,
soon they'll put
oh
this
no,
motherfucker in the Hall of Fame.
absolutely.
That's an impressive man.
His resume speaks louder than anything.
That's
And you
impressive.
can't and they can't deny him. And if that was the case, then someone needs to be fired because he is a first ballot right off the bat Hall of Famer. There's no if, ands, or buts about it.
All right, let's go to the West. Houston Rockets, what's next for them?
Honestly, they still, like Detroit, they were also still a young team. So like I don't necessarily see any big changes. I just feel like they just got to keep maturing themselves, keep maturing as a player and as a person, and uh, keep that team together. Like I said, there's obviously, if Giannis is able to come to town, like you said earlier, Dylan Brooks and a couple others for Giannis, and then that could be their guy to get him over the next hump. If they were to get a Giannis, that can get them over. But again, they were still a young team, so a lot of learning to go, and they're going to be good. Nothing major. They were the second seed. Not for nothing.
I have a semi hot take. Semi hot take. I think if the Rockets land KD this all season, they're a contender. If that's a possibility, I think if
Mhm.
you go out, I feel like KD kind of fits honestly with. I won't say the Rockets are just missing anything in particular, but I feel KD gives them that little boost. It gives them that how we was talking about earlier with the Magics. It gives them that playout. It gives them like that veteran leadership. It gives them that
Well,
experience. Somebody who's won a chip before. I feel like KD would fit perfect in that team if he could kind of prove himself to me a little bit more as a leader, because I do have leadership questions with him, because I don't think he's really truly just been clear cut the number one guy on his team, maybe since even OKC. And even then, that's like, he had Westbrook in OKC, Curry, which Curry was an MVP before he got there. You went to Phoenix, got the with that D book. To me, it feels like if KD can prove himself that he's an actual leader, I think that team's a contender because they got a lot of pieces to work with.
and if you think about it too, when you're playing teams, it's going to free up space for their other stars to shine and get open because it's like now you got KD, for example, and it's like shit. Now we got to focus on him. So if you double or triple team him, that's going to leave Smith open. Or that's going to leave him open. So that's going to be. He's also going to bring that threat as well.
And I also think what's funny, Dre, is like, we're talking about the Suns here as well. The Suns are a team that kind of just heavily needs draft, like they need draft picks. And the
Mm-hmm.
Rockets have a ton of that. So I feel like they wouldn't necessarily need to necessarily give up maybe a big name. I feel like at most, Jalen Green is replaceable to me. I feel like that's not cutting a bad corner there. We saw what he did in the playoffs this year. I mean, if Jalen Green was even as half as he was good in the regular season, if he showed up in the playoffs, that Warrior series doesn't go to 7 games. I mean, let's just be real. So, I mean, I feel like if I'm Houston, I'm calling KD's phone. I'm trying to get buddy with the Suns GM James Jones and try to make that trade happen because that can definitely put y'all over the edge, in my opinion.
Hmm. I would be calling them about Giannis right now. Like you just said, you're right. They have draft picks they can give up. You
Hmm?
said Jalen Green is replaceable, like you said. I'm sorry, Jabari Smith is too. And maybe throw Dylan Brooks in there. Hey, just saying. You got potential. Maybe you got 3 first-round picks in 2027. Just saying.
I just feel like you get that another player like a KD, like a Giannis, something like that. It changes a lot for that franchise because they
They
got
will.
everything. They're just waiting for somebody to either blossom into that actual star or just to
Yeah.
grab
Because like you said, Jalen, he's still growing. He kind of disappointed me the past few games.
that
But like you
entire.
say, he's replaceable.
He made me so upset, man. He had
Yeah.
like 6 games out of that set. I think he had under like 10 points.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, Jalen, like this is supposed to be your moment.
Yeah. Or you could possibly just make a 3-team trade. Maybe the Rockets could receive Giannis. Bucks can probably receive Jalen Jabari, them couple first-round picks. Call Detroit. See if Isaiah Stewart want to go and throw the other Thompson in there.
And
Put
there,
Osar and Amen together, and then Dylan can probably go to Pistons with the first-round pick over there as well.
and with his defense and edge, that
Just
he would be a good fit for the Detroit Brookses.
yeah. So I
And
mean,
also, Coop, I feel like honestly, if I'm the Rockets, you give me Giannis. I feel like you might as well can just have Sengun. I'll just say you can have him too. I feel like he's even. We gotta remember we're talking about Giannis.
yeah, that's true. But hold on,
I give up a Sengun for
he kind of still is up there. Uh, Jay, I will keep him as if he's not on the table. If nobody's saying his name, we'll keep you there. Yeah, we'll be quiet. We're gonna be quiet.
you don't
We'll be
offer
quiet.
him you don't offer him like first deal like in first round. Like,
Yeah,
you might pull up like later on just in case you need to. Yeah,
yeah. Let them write that down and put that on the table. Other than that, I ain't saying nothing. But so we got the Rockets out the way. Clippers. What's next for the Clippers?
James Harden, first off, aka Mr. 7 Points in Game 7. He needs to step up. The team is fine, bro. They just need this. They need to stop choke. They just choke at the worst time. And then Harden is, and then the reason I said about Harden, because I know the comments. Some comments would be, "Oh, don't diss Harden like that." Look, the problem with Harden is this isn't the first time. They had a 3-2 lead in Philly against Boston a couple years ago, and he barely scored. He had what, 4 or 5 points that game too.
Yeah.
Like he seems to choke in game sevens, and then he'll hit you with the well. I need to be more of a team player, right? If I That's the problem. It's the I need to be more of a team player, or do you want me to be a scorer? Nick, be both. Your team needs you. Kawhi can't do it on his own. And shout out to Kawhi, by the way, because you had a hell of a postseason, man. Healthy and all, we now know what you can do.
But hold on, ain't it kind of like yin for yang now? Don't forget who was holding it down when Kawhi was hurt during the regular season
Hurt, yeah.
to get them to the playoffs. I mean, I get it, but everybody needs to show up at the same time. The
Oh
reason why
yeah,
I'm
and
not gonna knock Harden is because at one point it technically was him by himself. We gotta remember at one point Kawhi wasn't playing, Norman Powell wasn't playing, Zubac wasn't playing. It was Harden just in there putting in the work by himself. So I can't really sit here and knock him, but yeah, Game 7, you kind of need to like, hey, wake up, bro. So, but I ain't just gonna
Clippers
shit on him just yet.
and
But
I
go ahead,
like
Jay.
Norman Powell too. That's another player I really like on that squad is Norman Powell because it's like I like what he can provide, not just on the offensive, like on his ability on the offensive side, but there were also flashes of him on doing really good on defense too. I think this is a well good team. I think this is a good team. It's just Big players with big names got to step up in the biggest moments. That's the main. That's it.
Do y'all think? And I know we talked about him a lot this episode, but I mean, it's a name like his. It is what it is. But do y'all think there is a possibility that Giannis could potentially go to LA? I mean, we know how big that market is. Once again, it's LA.
Yeah.
Paul
Y'all,
George already went over there, and
it's tough. To me, it's a tough conversation because
Mm.
well, if what are you necessarily trying to get from the Clippers if you were to trade for him? Because like you have to think Kawhi and James Harden, if that's even an option, they getting up there in age. Same with guys like Norman Powell. So I mean, like, is it
would you
really?
give up Zoo?
Hell no.
I mean, not
Yeah,
yeah,
I have to
no.
know if to get it Giannis. Do you feel like it's off the table for LA to potentially get him, or do you feel like it's just like a long shot?
I honestly feel like both LA teams is on the table for Giannis. Because there is that he has said he wanted to try to get 1 year
Go to.
with Kawhi.
Mhm.
That could be a possibility. But that's if Kawhi can stay healthy and not
Yeah,
retire anytime soon. It could be a good possibility, Jay Will.
yeah, they're another team that I'm kind of just looking at. They've kind of been the same, honestly, since 2013, where it's like they've always been good,
Yeah,
just never contending good. You know what I mean? Like they had the
right.
CP3
Blake
Jordan
Griffin.
Griffin
Yeah,
year, and then after that, I think
it
they had the
was
little
good.
Kawhi era didn't work out, and it feels like they've
They
just
had
been.
Paul George for a while.
Yeah,
It just feels like they just kind of. I'm so used to seeing them just be like a good to slightly above average team to where it's like they may just keep this up for another decade. Just to be honest with you.
yeah. I feel like right now, it was at one point where they was just trying to like not be the laughing stock of the NBA. Now it's like they're trying to contend, and you need to contend. So
That's why I'm happy they moved out of Staples Center. I'm sorry, but I'm always call it Staples Center because
yeah, it'll always be the same percent. I mean,
I'm happy they moved out of that because they're kind of trying to give themselves their own identity.
right?
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for the longest time they were like that, that episode from SpongeBob when he lost his name tag and couldn't find it, lost his identity. Now they have a.
I know.
Now it's more like a. Whew, like now we got our own court. We don't got to share. We don't got to do none of that.
yeah,
So
Plus, I mean, you have to like live under the Lakers' shadow the
right.
entire.
every yeah. Well, I mean, they're all they're to me personally. I think they're always gonna have to live under their shadow because of the
Yeah,
accolades.
but Jay, it's just funny because I think about it. I've never even thought about this before. Like the Clippers, they play games in that Staples Center arena, and I bet you just about every single jersey that's hanged up, besides maybe like Bob McAdoo's, is a Lakers jersey or something like that, or a
Yeah,
Lakers championship banner, stuff like that. And I'm like, it really does feel like they just little bro.
And they will, and that's the unfortunate part. They will always be the little bros.
mhm.
They would never move out of line. The market's just too big. Yeah, it is what it is.
To me, real quick, and then we can move on. To me, the Lakers and Clippers are almost like Shaq and Charles Barkley's feud. It's almost like the Lakers kind of look over and be like, they can
Rivalry.
flex their rings and they can do that, and the Clippers don't got any. As for Charles, he doesn't have any chips, but that you get my point, right?
Yeah, I get you.
I feel like that's how that is with those two. Lakers are Shaq, Clippers are Charles.
Mm, that's a good way to put it there. So I'm gonna let you two talk about them because I'm kind of done talking about it. What's next for Memphis?
Oof.
Go ahead. Don't speak at once.
I think if I'm Memphis, I think the first thing I would do is I would try to invite the new pope down to Memphis and just pray for the team because at this point it's just like
It's
it
becoming
once
a laughing
again,
stock.
it feels like I feel like they're starting to crumble. Like I don't think anybody's future in that on that team is just like guaranteed in Memphis at this point. I feel like at some point Josh's gonna get tired of it just because he's already like we've said many times he's kind of built himself a bad reputation in Memphis. Memphis is another one of those teams where they look good in the regular season and they always crumble later on. I feel like eventually a guy with Ja's talent, he's just going to want a new slate somewhere else that where he could potentially win at.
Yeah, he's
Um,
not going to want to be wasted talent.
yeah, if I'm the Grizzlies, my main thing is to just try to convince my top three guys to, Memphis is the place they want to be at, while also once again trying to create a bench. I feel like some of Memphis' problems this year was that they were just young. Scottie Pippen Jr., Jalen Wells, Zach Edey.
Yeah.
I feel like they just need to continue to try to grow that team while also once again maybe getting some type of leadership. But even that's hard to say because this team has had Marcus Smart. This team has had a Derrick Rose, people to kind of guide this team, and it still feels like they're making the same dumb mistakes
Exactly.
over
That's
and
what I'm
over.
saying. So I don't mean to cut you off, Jay. I
Are you good?
apologize. What veteran or person that you just described would want to go over there and be like, man, I ain't about to be dealing with this bullshit all the time? Like, who would want to go over there and deal with that headache, not knowing that your top guy could possibly get suspended? And like I said before, we all can't survive 82 games. I expect injuries. You know what I mean? But why would I go deal with that?
You saw what Iguodala did when they traded him to Memphis. He didn't even
He
want to play a
didn't
game.
want to
He didn't
step on the court. So yeah, I think Memphis is a problem now. I don't think Memphis will get no type of attraction. Nobody would want to go over there. I think Josh they last hope, and he kind of like ruined it for the franchise, in my honest opinion. I think JJ will leave. Um, yeah, I'm not quite sure about everybody else, but I just definitely think JJ will definitely get out of there.
And like Jay Will kind of said too, it's like Jaw's gonna get frustrated at some point. He's gonna want to chip. That's what he's here for. And at some point, he's gonna be like, "Well, if y'all ain't gonna provide that opportunity, I'm gonna go elsewhere." But then and also the young talent on that team as well, Edie and all them.
Mhm.
So we'll see how it'll be interesting to see how they grow this upcoming season. But yeah, I said they like Jay Will said a few months ago, they were just happy to be in the postseason, and honestly, that was an embarrassment, and they have to turn. This is a team that at one point went from being that team competing with the Warriors to what it is now.
Mhm.
And it's funny, Dre. We talk about
That was a
job being
fast
frustrated,
trajectory.
bro. We talk about job being frustrated, man. But at the same time, for as good as he's been with the Grizzlies, some of that frustration is kind of his
Because of
fault.
him.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
all
Where
the
did the nonsense
distractions.
stop?
Yeah, all the distractions has mainly been him. So like if I'm a fan of the Grizzlies, I'm like, Ja, you shouldn't even be frustrated. I feel like we in this is because of you. You're supposed to be the guy that leads us to the, we've given you Jaren Jackson, we've given you Devin Bang, we've given you a decent team, but it seems like the main thing for the Grizzlies each and every single year are distraction. Who's always the guy who makes those distractions every single year?
Jaw.
Exactly.
And
So I'm just
honestly, he needs to have this upcoming offseason like a look in the mirror. Not every night is gonna go your way. That's just how life works. You're not gonna win every night, but this upcoming season, that is one thing he needs to worry about is just getting the league off of his back. Don't do anything to draw attention to yourself. Because, like you said, the distractions that have been caused have been because of you.
I don't think he can, Dre. I'm gonna be honest
Mm-mm.
with you.
I don't think so either. And I'm gonna disagree with what you said. He's one of them players who can really get what he wants because of his talent, his athleticism. He can really shoot, go for the hole, do all this that pause. But
Mm-hmm.
all I'm saying is this: you have the talent within you. You seems like at one point you kind of don't really need nobody around you, but you do have this talent around you, and you're letting it go to waste because of your stupidity. That's what I'm saying. You need to surround yourself. What is this boy daddy doing? Talk to him. I understand I'm grown, but if I'm in his position, pause, and if I had this money, I know damn well my father would not let me be like, hey man, you better sit your little ass down somewhere. You better tighten up, pause, get your shit together, pause. I didn't raise you to be like this. Because like I said, I'm taking it back to a conversation that all of us probably had years ago with what can he say if he's the breadwinner? And I get that. But at some point, there's going to need some structure. He's going to need a big mama in his life to slap the shit out of him and get his shit right. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm saying that to be absolutely true. There is no way that you should be drawing attention to yourself like this each and every time you're healthy when you need to be focusing on winning. You're focusing on the wrong thing right now. And that is
Yeah,
trying to win you a championship and submit your legacy.
He over here
Get it
trying to get
together,
viral.
idiot. Yeah, you over here trying to do this and that. Get it together, young man. If I ever see you in the streets, I'm gonna yoke you up and be like, hey, don't blow this opportunity. There is plenty of people from my old neighborhoods to neighborhoods in Atlanta, all over that I've seen have talent but blew it on stupidity. Don't be one of them. That's
And
all I'm
there's
saying.
plenty of people that would love to be in his position right now.
Exactly. Get it
and
together,
you
Ja.
and it's crazy. I'm glad you said that because it's crazy. It's like, do you ever feel like, you talking to somebody and you can feel like you can give them any a lot of advice, stuff like that, but at the end of the day, they still make those boneheaded decisions. And that's kind of basically how I feel about Ja.
I
And
can
everybody's
name.
Ja. I know people are telling Ja this and that. Like, but like I said, this man is almost 26 years old and he's still doing the
Yo,
same BS. At this point, he's just one of those people where I just look at and I'm just like, I don't even want to give you advice. Just do what you got to do, man. Because at this point, what's the point? Why should I waste my time trying to help you out when at the end of the day I know you're just going to do it again? Like, what's the point?
I'm glad you asked me that because I got
Uh,
an 11-year-old here right now who's a bonehead who don't listen to shit I say, but we'll continue. We'll continue. We'll continue. I'm going to speak on this first because I'm a fan of this team. I've been a fan of this team since '96. The Lakers. I'm going to tell you what you need to do.
Get it big.
Get a big and not focus on this fool retiring. I understand if he does retire, that's cool. That's cool. All right, cool. Bet we got to keep moving. This is a business. This is an organization. We're trying to win more. Do not focus on that, y'all. Get out here, get to work, get to scouting, get to calling some people, see who on the free agent, see how we can get him here. Do not focus on LeBron retiring right now. Who gives a shit? If he does, he does. Hey, nice run, my brother. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be one of them people. Dre, I know how you feel about LeBron. I will miss you when you go. But right now, as me, as a coach, owner, GM, any of that, bye-bye. Okay. I gotta worry about these people over here now.
The future.
The future. Who can I build around Luca? I ain't gonna lie to you. Maybe we have a conversation with Luca. All right, who would you like to see over here? That's all you need to focus on. Do not focus on this diva. If he comes back, he comes back. But please focus on getting the big. Focus on getting JJ Redick some help. That's all I'm saying. Focus. Just focus. And focus on the right thing.
Yeah, honestly, I think the biggest thing right now is that, right? What you said about the Lakers
Yeah.
is they can't be right now. This is not the time to focus on his retirement. Like you said, if he does, cool,
Yeah.
kudos. But right now, the show must go on,
Mm-hmm.
and Luca's still here. Reeves is still here. We still got players. Now it's just figuring out build where to add, and obviously the biggest piece is a big man, and that is the most crucial thing right now. I honestly think you guys would have gotten further into the postseason
Yeah.
had you guys gotten yourselves a big,
And a bench.
because and a bench. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, that if they can rack those up though, if they can take care of those two, they're gonna be good. But it's just a matter of what are they prioritizing more right now,
mhm.
and they need right now they need to be focused on basketball.
Yeah, I think Coop kind of agreeing with you, both of y'all really, but I feel like when they made that trade for Luca, it wasn't a oh snap, we trying to win a championship right now. It felt like a okay, Braun almost out of here.
Mm-hmm.
80 necessarily not reliable to be the future for this you know franchise anymore.
Right.
Let's go out. Let's go get a 25-year-old Luka Doncic. I'm pretty sure that he's around that age somewhere, and let's shape up for the future. I don't think that the Lakers organization, even though like it sucks to lose in the playoff, I understand, especially as a 2 seed. The goal with Luca, I feel like has to always just to it's the main goal with Luca. You want to look forward. You're kind of done with the LeBron years, in my opinion. So once again, if LeBron retires, probably what's best. If he decides to stay another year or so, and it's like cool, that's cool, LeBron. But at the same time, we don't want you running ship like you try to do most of the time.
Mhm.
Our main focus is going to be okay. Who can we put around Luca to make sure that this team is in the best shape it can be in for the next few years or so while we try to make another run with another legendary superstar. LeBron is no longer or should be no longer the focus of the Lakers. Even if that means, hey, LeBron, we love you. We appreciate you for that ring,
Yeah.
but you got to cut corners. It
Mhm.
is what it is at this point. If I'm the Lakers, this franchise is too big, too successful to be wrapped up in the entire LeBron retirement saga. You got to look at the future. That's what you plan to do when you got Luca.
Mhm.
By any means should that stop. That should not stop at all. So continue
That,
to build on that team. Continue, hopefully, get you a big, get you some young guys. Austin Reeves looks like he could potentially be a solid piece that you can put by Luka. Not saying that he's just a true number two player, but he has shown that he can contribute on this team. I feel like the future is bright for the Lakers if they focus on the future. I'm
It looked
sorry,
like
LeBron.
you want to say something, Dre. Go ahead.
no, no. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
This is your biggest rival team.
I just feel like the diva in him just loves the. I know he just loves the
I knew
attention.
that wasn't the end of it. That's why I was like, go ahead. You might as well go ahead and say what you say.
All right, go ahead and say what you guys say your piece, Dre.
That's it. That's all I wanted to say. I just know he
Uh,
loves the attention.
It
Jay
looked like
Will,
he
there
was
was
holding
a
that in for so long,
he
so
was
hard.
pause. He was. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you why, Jay Will, because there was an episode, and I hate that I got rid of my old computer because it was on there.
Oh, it was on that one.
Dre went off last year about this fool. And
Oh,
Me and Ray just sitting there looking at each other like, what the fuck did we ask this question for? But to be, I'm gonna keep it real with you. It was really Ray's fault for pushing him like
yeah, I
that.
got it.
I
So
saw another side of Dre to where if you bring up certain players in any sport, he is mad. And I haven't seen him get this mad since
Marcus
Marcus
Peters.
Peters. And then I was like, I knew he disliked LeBron, but it's to a point if Dre saw him on the street, he probably would rob him or something. I'm like, I was like, and I'm just sitting there like, should I continue the show after this? Like, is YouTube gonna cancel me? It was bad. I was like, yo, that shit it was funny, but I'm like, yo, that's real. But
yeah, I got
I get what you're saying. I feel that way about a few players, but at the end of the day, I do respect a lot of players. You know,
this
like I
ain't even.
said,
It's
what you
just
what you say?
it ain't even about respect. It's just that you.
Nah, Dre got that hate for LeBron. Dre got
I
that hate.
mean, at the same time, he's not wrong with what he said.
Yeah, it's the fact that at one point you had a damn announcement about your decision. You had the league on hold at one point in your career on the free agency side. And then you doing all this shit like, oh, I don't know. If you want to, I get that we all got support systems we need to talk to, and I get it. Trust me, I will talk to my wife and about anything or any decision making that I do. Hell, I'll talk to her about this new YouTube page. But I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, don't keep us waiting. At this point, and that's to a point, I'm like, I don't even care what LeBron does. Let him do what he do. But will I miss him? Yes. I respect him. And the game probably won't be the same without him. But we shall move on. Um, round two matchups. How do
Oh,
y'all feel about the Thunder and Denver series? It's 2-2 right now. What do y'all think?
this is Denver's way of saying like we got a lot of turmoil, but we're still going to compete.
Yeah.
And number 2, when the fuck did Aaron Gordon become Mr. Buzzer Beater these last few games? I'm like,
No, that's crazy.
And he
I'm
had a
like,
few.
wait a minute.
He had a few buzzer beaters last year though.
Yeah, but it's like, bro, it's like
He did. He gotta had a few buzzer beaters before.
It's just crazy seeing the guy that's getting your game winners, and he's not a bad player. I'm not saying that term.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just you usually see it from Jamal Murray or a Jokic or Aaron Gordon. Like his corner 3-2, I was like, oh, that is nasty.
But he's letting y'all know that, and I think this is what me and Isaiah tried to tell y'all. Like Aaron Gordon is really he good. I like Aaron Gordon though. I liked him when he was in Arizona. You know, I will always respect Aaron Gordon. Kind of wish that he could have stayed with the Magic. But
Can you imagine him with the Magic now?
that's what I'm saying. That veteran that Jwilliii was talking about. What is this? He came in 2014. Pause. So he would be that good 10-year veteran over there now that could have helped them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I respect Gordon. I respect Gordon.
I still feel like OKC should win this series, but I feel like this is just a part of the growing pains for them. I feel like even though that I feel like roster wise, talent wise, they are the better team.
Yeah.
Once again, this is a case of a younger team that has little playoff experience matching up with a team that has that playoff experience, has that championship. I feel like that's just what they're getting trapped in. I still feel like OKC should win the series. I feel like they have done such a good job the last 3 games at containing Jokic, but their offensive woes has kind of been lackluster. I mean, he hasn't been the same player from the regular season, which is okay because he's still putting up numbers. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when J Dub is out here dropping like 1 for 12 consistently, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. I just like once again they got to clean their game up offensively a little bit. If they can do that, because their defense is not the issue. If they can do that, then they should be able to put a lock on this series. Because I feel like they should be very very happy that they're not down 3-1 right now. Because even yesterday, the game from the other day was just crazy.
And right, like you said, and one thing is too, I want to bring that point is like the way they have been able to contain Jokic has been. I'm like, wow, like this is insane. Like I think when I was updating my stat sheet a few games ago, they held him like he didn't hit 20 till like he barely hit 20 like entering the fourth quarter, and I was like, oh man, this man is usually dominant every single night, and it's like they're game playing for him though. They're not running away. They're playing good brand of basketball, and they're just sticking to what got them there.
I feel like Jwilliii said something a couple weeks ago. The bench is not good on Denver's side. But once again, the experience of Denver is showing y'all, hey man, we've been here before, and we ain't scared to put you little motherfuckers out. I feel like the series could go 7. Denver could still have 7.
I want to say 6.
You want to say 6?
Again, just because.
OKC in 6?
Yeah. I still want to say just because they are a younger group, they're going to struggle and maybe give up another loss. Chet has really been showing it this series. Like he's playing like he's a rookie. Honestly, I think this is his first.
Yeah, because remember he was hurt last year.
Yeah, and like when he missed those big 2 free throws at the line, and Gordon had the shot off. Like, man, you not.
This is something you should not do. Yeah,
and got postered that same game. It's like, yeah, you definitely playing like you a rook.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna go 7. Okay, see.
But like you said before, are you really gonna keep cutting it with I know they barely pulled it off Sunday, pause. But are you really gonna keep playing like a game like that where you score 8 points and where you could have possibly scored another 10 because you had 18 in the game before? Where you probably could this series could technically be up 3-1 right now. And we get that. It happens. Don't get me wrong. But Shat, you need to step up, bro.
You're a number one draft pick for a reason.
Yeah. And but here's the thing. I didn't expect him to be keeping up with Jokic like this anyway. So it kind of like, all right, maybe the other players need to step up now and do something.
I will give them. This is the worst Jokic series I've seen in a while. And not
Yeah.
even saying that he's just playing bad, but I have not seen him being able to be contained like this ever
This is it's different. It's
since like
different.
young Jokic.
Um, should we call this a series now? Timberwolves and
Great.
Warriors? Should we
Uh,
say that's over with? You think the Warriors got two more, one more in them?
if Curry come back, they can get one more. But if he's gone, I mean, I feel like it's still possible because if we're like watching these games, they still been close for the most part. I think yesterday the Timberwolves kind of broke out in the second half and kind of won by like 15, but it hadn't just been like crazy blowouts. The Timberwolves
Yeah,
kind of be a little sloppy. So
yeah, it
like I think
has.
the Warriors could definitely steal another game before get eliminated, but I don't think they can win the series. I think that's out the window. I probably
Yeah.
say Timberwolves in
Yeah.
six.
My bad.
We good.
No, I was just honestly gonna say though. I think yeah. Uh, I mean, I know I said originally it's first one two four, but it's just the way that Minnesota plays in the second half per se.
Yeah,
I feel like they Anthony Edwards and the T Wolves they turn it up in the second half. In the first half they'll be, it'll be kind of close. In the second half they kind of start once they get their lead to like 8 or more, they start like, "Uh-oh, like you let us pull away just a little too far now, buddy."
mm.
Um and granted, they don't have Steph, which by the way, another shout out to Steph. I hope he is okay. I think it was a hamstring, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
he's probably.
Yeah, and Marv, we've said this so many times, don't rush it because hamstrings they take longer to heal.
Yes, they do.
But outside of that, I mean, Anthony Edwards and another player I would like to shout out to, which I'm still waiting for him to disappear, but it's not working. Julius Randle is averaging in this postseason so far 23 points per game.
Yeah, he's been solid. I give him credit. Me and Marv talked about that before the playoffs started. It was like Julius Randle has to step up because they don't have Cat this year,
Yeah,
and
He
he's
watched.
stepped up so far. Mm.
mm,
So
it's
he has that reputation.
oh man, I'm gonna say it's over with. Just for the simple facts, it reminds me of the Lakers. No bench, just Jimmy and Steph not there. And like you said too, Jay, well, I get that it's only been like, okay, one game you won by 5. Another game you lost by what they lose by 7 last night.
Yeah,
Uh,
117, 110.
Yeah. If you keep you cutting it close, I get that. But you still don't have enough to finish. Pause. So I'm gonna say yeah, it's over with. Possibly next game. Yeah, I'll say 5. I'm gonna
like,
say
And
it's,
did y'all real quick? Did you guys happen to peep the little move Kaminga made to get to the rim when he made? I forgot who he faked out, but he faked right, went left.
honestly, to be real with you, go ahead, my fault before us.
Oh no, you good. That's all. I just thought that was such a slick move. He didn't make the basket because he ended up just getting pushed, and I just thought I was like, man, what a swift move. But do you think where do you guys see real quick before you move on? Where are your thoughts with Kaminga? Because I feel like with me, it's kind of 50-50. Like I don't know. Like I want him. I want him to be good, but at the same time, it's like I don't know if he can be that guy. He's better off as maybe like a bench player.
I don't think he can be that guy on the Warriors. I feel like honestly, Dre, seems like it's just not working out between the two in general. I don't think Kaminga fits well with their scheme. Like Kaminga, we know he can put up points, but
Mm-hmm.
something that Steve Kerr does not like about him, because earlier in the series, like they weren't really trying to put him in at all. until Curry got down. It was like, okay, now I guess we got to throw you out there for an extended time period. I like Kaminga. I just rather see him outside of Golden State. I don't think he can
Thrive
thrive
elsewhere.
in Oakland. He has to go somewhere else.
Okay, so for your thoughts, it's just maybe a change of scenery for him.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see because he's still young. He's only like 22, 23-ish. I still think he can prove himself. He's gotten better every single year. So,
I'm gonna disagree and say that it's not him because they do change the scheme all the time. Look what they did like before when they got Wiseman. They thought they could do this big man scheme and they can't. Then they went and got him the year later, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that, Jay Will. I feel like if you would keep your scheme each year, you would be successful like they had before. But now that, players do go, they had to switch up, do this and that because they was getting hit to the small ball. So I
mm,
feel like because of the change of scenery that Kerr has been doing, which was not like letting him succeed as a player. Like you say, he does get better. I feel like now, since he's wasted his time there, he's lost his identity.
yeah.
I don't feel like he will be good anywhere else outside of Oakland. That's just my honest opinion. Maybe ride it out, pause, and see what you can do. But right now, I feel like it's because of the fact that yeah, they changed the scheme so many damn times. So I'm not quite sure what's next for Jonathan Kaminga. I like him as a player. Don't get me wrong, but um, I don't
I
know.
just rather see him somewhere else, man.
You rather see him somewhere else? Hey, it's a possibility he might go somewhere else. But I feel like
And
I
he
just
could
don't feel like
thrive.
he was one of them players who didn't get a fair shake
Yeah,
because of the
100%.
way the schemes was changing throughout the years. You tried this and you tried that, and it has failed and failed. No wait, he got a championship, right?
Yeah.
22, yeah, he got that against Boston.
I mean, like I've.
Well, you didn't have to announce the team, jackass.
I was about to say, I kind of don't really think he contributed to that. You know what I mean? But he does have a ring on his resume, so it's a lot to go into it. In my opinion, I just feel like he wasn't given a fair shake with the
Yeah.
situation he was put in.
And his
So
That makes me
2022 stint too was pretty good. It was a pretty good run too. That's where I started getting my high praise. That well, not just that players, but through that season too. He was starting to like slowly but surely make a name for himself.
yeah,
And then a couple seasons roll by and nothing. And I was like, man. And then he pops right back up. I'm like, oh shit, he's back.
yeah, because I feel like um, don't get me wrong, he had like a good year last year. These past 2 years, he had a good year. I just don't feel like maybe because of the 2021 season, 2022 season, and then the 2022-2023 season, he just didn't emerge. And that's
To
around the
where we
time where they
thought.
started changing up. I know the year they definitely won, they switched up a lot during that season, which was successful. And then they tried it again the following year, the 2023 year. I mean, the 2022-2023 year, which was like a big mess. Because I don't even think he's seen double digit points per game that year. Both them years, actually. The year they won the championship and the year they tried that. But the 2023 season, he averaged like 16 points. And then last year, I think he averaged 15 points. So, yeah, you're right, Jay. Well, he is improving, but I just don't feel like now you wasted these 4 years. What's next for you?
yeah.
Are you going to switch next year to what? You know what I mean? So, and if they do decide to keep Jimmy, so it's going to be a lot of
That's another
changes. It's gonna be a lot of changes. So I feel bad for Kaminga. Yeah, maybe right, free Kaminga. Maybe he can go somewhere else. But I just feel like right now, damn, what's my
Might be
identity
too
now?
late.
Yeah, what's my identity now? I wasted not wasted. I got a ring out of it, but 5 years, I had to switch up my play. What's my identity now? So now you got to tell me you got to go somewhere else and find a new identity.
A lot of schemes to go through.
It is, and it's a headache.
But maybe also too, according to back to Jay Will's point, maybe he's thinking about it like, man, I done already flipped schemes so many times, it's almost normal to me. So that could be one of those types of situations too.
But do you want to be like that? Do you want to be known for that player, Dre?
Hell no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a good play, bro. I mean, just from experience of me being like, hey man, I ain't playing no damn 3-4. No, I'm just saying I played 4-3 all my life.
Uh-huh.
So you mean I was like, damn, sorry, this defensive play 3-4.
Like
So
this is
that's what I'm
not
saying.
what I
I
play.
get it. So that's what I'm saying. I get it. If you've been on the field and the court, then y'all would know that. But it's all good. Like I said, I hope he finds his way. He's a talented brother. So, um, this series scares me because of the simple fact they've seen this before. I honestly feel like Cleveland could win in 7.
Oh, I,
Do I
I
want them to win in 7? No, I do not. Because right now we're taking out our toughest competition. But I'll speak on that when I get to that series. But it's also the consistency, like I told my man Chris at the job, the consistency of the Pacers will catch up to them. That's why I always
you
tell, and I told the youngin too when he does his prize picks, I was like, pick Halliburton under every time he has a game that's 20 or plus. The next game pick is under because he's an inconsistent bum. So yeah, not to say it like entertaining like that, but I'm just saying he is inconsistent. I love Tyrese, but this team is the most inconsistent team I've ever seen.
I will say, just a little breaking news while we're talking about it.
Mhm.
There was discussions of Donovan Mitchell got hurt in game
oh,
4. I'm not sure if you know about
Oh
that,
boy. Yeah.
uh-oh.
but he is expected to play in game
Oh.
5. But
Uh-oh.
but they're saying he's not looking 100%. So that kind of scares me on the like I could see it. Don't get me wrong, but if
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, a guy who's been the main scoring guy in this series for the Cavaliers, he's not 100%.
So
Yeah, it's tough, man. And I really don't want to see the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not gonna lie to you, man, but it may be time for us to come to that realization that it's gonna happen.
I was about to say real quick, I think it's no disrespect to like, the Anthony Edwards or the Stephen Currys or anything like that, but I was like, this finals matchup, it could potentially be freaking the Wolves could be in there or the Pacers. And I'm like, can you imagine
but
if
here's the
Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers get there?
I
here's the
think
thing, Dre. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Jay.
I would say I think the Nuggets and Pacers will be even uglier, to be honest with
Oh God. Oh no.
That will probably be the most boringest NBA finals I've ever watched.
you.
If
The,
that does happen,
the
if
only
you're not working, call to pick up a shift.
I'll watch it, but the thing is this too. It's all about storylines. That's why I feel like if the Pacers do win, cool. Let New York get back. We could get our get back because you shouldn't have
hmm
been in the Eastern Conference Finals last year because you took advantage of
Oh,
us getting
that's
hurt.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then they got hurt. So that would be a good storyline to get to the finals. And then on top of that, if Ant-Man and them so happens to get there, you're talking about all types of revenge here. Julius Randle, Dante versus the team that got rid of. And
That's
then on top of
crazy.
that, Cat said, "Hey, y'all said y'all can do this without me. Hey, well, we all here. Let's settle this shit right now." It would be such a perfect storyline if the Timberwolves and Knicks was to make the finals. Just my honest opinion.
I honestly think to save us from an ugly finals, the Knicks would have to make it if the
I hope
Celtics
so.
don't.
I hope
If
so.
They
if you
definitely.
get because hold on, just I don't want any fans of it. I still believe it's first to four, not to three, but just
Yeah.
in case, potentially if they win, you're our literally only saviors to make the NBA finals at least watchable.
Because if the Pacers so happen to get to the finals, I would cry. I would cry. I would probably never do another show again. I would really go on a hunger strike or something.
Yeah,
But
I'll probably be at the emergency room.
yeah,
Imagine the ratings, man.
the
It's
ratings, oh my God, you thought the ratings was bad. Now?
uh,
Woo-wee. But here's the thing, but it also depends on the fan base, the fandom of people. Because I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know Indiana's not a big state,
They're a
but
basketball state.
they're still a basketball state. Because you still got fans. You may have not had the millions of fans, but if New York makes it, we have the fan base. If Boston makes it, they have the fan base to do all this. And I mean, I'm pretty sure Cleveland will be watchable too. So, you know, I'm just saying let's just make this a competitive.
Yeah.
But after all that, let's talk about the dethroning of the Boston teams here. Let's
Not
let's
yet.
let's talk about this, man. Because New
What
York, New
more?
York, New York has a way of dethroning you Boston teams. Ask Tom Brady.
Yeah, with Carmelo Anthony was a part of one, wasn't he? So for some strange reason, seems to be like
I wish Isaiah could have heard you say that.
seems like New York is
Yeah. New York has a way
Boston's
of
kryptonite.
yeah, it seems like New York always has a way of getting it done with Boston. But here
And
I am, people.
I don't know what it is. I don't know
It's
what it is. I don't know if it's their true hate
here's the
or
funny part. So let's just
and real quick, hold on, I'm sorry, Mark. Real
go ahead.
quick, can
Go
you
ahead.
just give your team just a little bit of love now? Because
I
you were
know.
giving some
I'll
you
always
were
give them
so
love. It's just that tough love. But here's the thing, Dre. Why would I continue to put myself out there like, like that? Because this is coming from a kid who used to say all the time, Nick's going to the finals since he was 9 years old. And just
oh
be
well,
disappointed. And don't get me wrong, like I said, it's my dream finals was always the Knicks and Lakers. Every year. Knicks and Lakers, one of them going to the finals. Or they can go to the finals together. Always used to say that. But be disappointed. But I was luckily blessed to see my favorite player of all time, Kobe, get 5. Now it's the Knicks' turn. If they get a finals, woo-wee, boy. And I'm only saying that because it's home court, it's home base. So the first game, I'm like, nah. I was gonna text Dre first game. I was like, it's only one faggot ass point. I mean, 3 points overtime. We ain't gonna win no more. Then game two happens. Another 20-point league. I'm like, should I text Dre now and say it's over? Nah. And I'm at work, they clowning me. They like, I was like, Celtics gonna win Saturday. And I knew that. But last night, I'm sorry, Celtics fans. When that fool went down, I was like, yes. That's it. No, but here's the thing. Jay Will did not say that though. Jay Will did not say that. Somebody on Boston was gonna get hurt. Didn't I say? Did I or did I not say that? I don't wish nobody no downfall, but I'm like one of them fools is gonna get hurt because nobody is taking care of them. They came into the playoffs banged up.
Yeah.
And all I said was it's just gonna take somebody from the 7th seed to beat up on Boston. And that's what the Magic did. That was the roughest 5 games of y'all life. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh yeah.
But here we are, 3-1. I feel like Boston could win this next one.
Yeah.
And like you just said earlier, I heard I actually heard Jason Williams say it earlier on First Take that Jay Brown will have to put this $300 million performance on if y'all want to stay alive. I'm not saying they're gonna win the series. We got this in the bag. We only 4 more games to the NBA Finals, fellas. Knicks, do not let me down. We need this. Just like Liberty got it for us. Now it's y'all turn to get it for us.
Dre, you a little quiet over there, man.
Oh,
No,
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 but
no, no, no,
Mark,
no,
get
no.
through
Let him stay quiet, Jay. Well, we had to hear this shit. I had to hear this shit for all last year from you.
it.
So it's my turn now. And let's not forget, Jay, well, before you got on the show, and I'm so happy you're here, don't get me wrong. I had to deal with not one, but two. Two of them.
Oh, two. Oh, man.
And Ray, you dodging me too. You dodging me, Ray. I'm kind of glad. I had to deal with two of them at one time. Pause, Jay Will. So no. He does
Especially
not
when
get
we
this pass.
won.
It does not get this pass, Jay Will. So fuck him if he quiet. Thank you. For once, I don't have to mute him without muting him.
Bro.
I'm just so happy. Even if we, you know what, Jay Will, and I've said this earlier when I was talking to my uncle. If we don't make it to the finals, it will be a disappointment. But just to know, we dethroned these green fools will be the absolute best Father's Day gift I ever received. Do you not hear what I said? Imagine having a child who's a fucking Celtics fan. I was almost as close to disowning her last year.
Wait,
Come
you have
on.
a what?
You know what I'm saying?
There's
It's
a
hard
Boston fan in
time.
your family?
We ain't gonna talk about that.
Oh, let's go.
We're going to dethrone these people, Jay Will. So don't say shit about him being quiet, Jay Will. It's my time now. It's my time to talk. Here's the thing, like I told y'all before, I got to see my favorite player win 5, and I still was talking shit. But now that it's in the home court, to that 9-year-old me, when I look back and say each year, Knicks is gonna win, Knicks is going to the finals. This is gonna be a dream come true if we go to the finals.
By the way, Coop, you said your favorite player won 5. You remember 2 of those rings? Who did they beat? Do you remember?
Yeah,
One of those.
I remember a few of them. One of them was Boston. One of them was the Magic. One of them was that sorry ass New Jersey.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yes.
It was New Jersey. That's crazy.
That's why I always tell people, man, they will never, and I mean ever, be Brooklyn. No, they will always be the New Jersey Mets. And one of the most disappointing, because it was favorite team versus one of my favorite players, Iverson. They beat Iverson for one. Nah, did we get the jersey? We got jersey twice, right? I think so. So yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
We're
Um, yeah, I know it was Jersey, the Nets. Philly, Pacers. Was it Pacers?
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
No, don't tell me. No, don't tell me. Don't look it up either. It was. I definitely remember that 01. That was definitely the Nets. Iverson. I remember they beat Iverson. The Magic and the Celtics was the back to back. That was 08, 09. I mean 2010.
9 and 10, yeah.
Yeah, 9 and 10.
Y'all went to 3 straight though. That's crazy. 8, 9,
yeah,
and
because we lost to Detroit. We lost to Detroit.
in 04, right?
That was 04, which was dumb. I'm for sure, Gerald. That's kind of bad. The fandom in me does not know that.
The first one y'all won was against the Pacers in 2000.
Pacers, okay. So I knew it. Yeah,
And
Pacers.
Larry Bird wasn't Bird the coach?
I think he was just executive or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Not coach.
I don't think
There you
I
go.
don't know if he was ever the coach.
Because he was on the sideline for that finals, and when y'all won, he was pissed.
Because when I started watching them, was in '95. That's like when Scott, Eddie Jones, and them was over there. I think we still had Van Axel and Vonnie Devock on our team, and I called him air conditioning, AC Green. And because I used to be like, oh, it's still for air conditioning, and I didn't care. But then, like when Kobe got there, I was like, okay, I really became a fan. So, and then the dynasty was built from like the '96 to 2004. We had the 3-peat. We lost to Detroit, and then the Kobe Bryant era was also. Yeah, it was good. It was good times to be a good fan. I'm still a fan. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
but right now it's New York City's time.
Yeah, I'm more sure just ask that just so we can shit on the Celtics a little bit more.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Throw salt on the wound, like I said before. Yes, yes.
All I want to say, Boston fans, it's okay. Look, it's first to 4. Just believe. That's what I got to do. We gotta believe. Think positive.
Put that fucking shit up, nigga. Anyways, it is my time now. Yes. Fuck Boston. Thank you. That's all I want to say is fuck Boston. Finally. That's it.
It's all right. We got next year.
Shut the f-
Do y'all got next year without Tatum?
Yeah, exactly. Do y'all got next year without
Yeah, I
Tatum?
got next.
Yeah,
Yep.
because he gonna miss half that season, buddy. You better be careful what you say.
But I hope Payton Pritchard turns into some type of.
Hey, give Peyton Pritchard $100 million. Give Peyton Pritchard $100 million. That's all. But here's the
slide,
thing.
slide Porzingis a max deal or something like that.
And here's the thing, Jay Will.
That's funny. He
I
used to be a
said this
Nick
last
too.
year too. I was like, they ain't gonna do shit. Porzingis hurt, and he came out and balled. So that's why I got a weird feeling that he could probably ball game 5. I
Yeah.
think he'll step up. I think he can step up and actually make something happen. I think Jaylen Brown, like I said, he's gonna have to do that $300 million performance. They still have enough in the tank to get one more win.
Yeah.
But if we
But I
do if we
also,
was to close it out, I will be happy. But I think still like with them, this is something that we should not take lightly. Like Dre said, first to 4, we got to win that 4 first, and then we got to get another 4 to get to the NBA Finals. So
but
we got to do our digits.
it's funny because this entire series, honestly, the main reason why the Celtics are even in this predicament in the first place is because they just genuinely cannot hold a lead.
Yeah,
Yes.
Two
yeah.
back 20
Yep.
point leads in the Garden is crazy. Not in the Garden, but
Two
Yeah, you
back to
blew
back.
2 leads, Dre,
yes,
in the Garden.
Back
and then
to
you
back.
led by like most of these, like most of this playoff time, like they've had like the lead in like 90 minutes. And I think I read like the Knicks only had
Mm-hmm.
like 15 minutes total.
You want to know what's even
1/4.
crazier?
1/4.
You know what's even crazier too is games 1 and game. So game 1 we attempted 63s.
Mm-hmm.
Game 2 we attempted 43s. Do you know we went by game 3 before the start of game 3? We were 25 of 100 behind the arc. That is way too many fucking threes.
That is.
And that, like I said, that's also crediting the Knicks defense because they're forcing us to take threes. They're not giving us easy mid range, and they're not they're clogging the lanes to the paint. So it's no discredit to their defense because they're the ones that are forcing us to take shots we don't necessarily want to take. And honestly, I get it. We're a 3-point team. Live by the 3, you die by the 3. But there should be a point in time where it's like, okay, is this too? If you've watched the Celtics game, have you noticed our combo? Step back 3-pointer. Use that step back to create space, and then step back 3-pointer every time. They start off on the mid range area, inside interior, and then boom, step back 3-pointer. I'm like, all right, I get it. You guys, like I said, you're the 3-pointers. That's what y'all do, but you got to find different ways to win, and it's just very hard to get your 3-pointers to fall every night. Thank you. To get your 3-pointers to fall on a consistent basis.
Yeah, because like I said before, the first 2 games, we only owned the 4th quarter. Like the first 3 quarters was y'all's.
Yeah,
Like,
and
there was no way in the world that y'all should have let us get back on a 220-point lead. Back-to-back games in y'all house.
And
That's
I think
that's why I was
game
like,
2, you guys were on a 17-2 run to end the.
yeah. So when I
Yeah,
looked at, like I said, game 1, I was like, all right, that's
Boston
fluke.
shooting themselves in the foot.
That was Boston shooting themselves fluke. I'm like, but game 2, I'm like, ooh, these niggas is wounded. They look hurt. And then Saturday, I'm like, okay, I expected them to win. I expected y'all to win. Y'all needed that win. But yesterday, where I honestly thought we could still two in your house, y'all could still two in our house. But when we won last night, like I said, I'm like, it's over.
And Tatum had 42 before that injury.
He snapped his little leg. It's over.
And you know what's crazy? If this changes the trajectory of Boston moving forward, that's going to be insane. It all started on that night.
Like I said before.
Hey, Boston, you better learn to start paying these refs off.
Jay Will,
Pay
How
up.
you?
June 1st, 2024. I almost went in depression because these fools was in the finals.
I feel you.
Not no more, buddy.
Mhm.
I'm good now. Hey,
Feels
new
good,
show,
man.
new time. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And I'm going back home if we
When
go
was
to
the
the
last time
finals.
Knicks were in the finals?
2000.
Well, and then same with the. What about
That-
East Conference?
2000.
You telling
Yeah,
me
they
that? Wait, I said conference, not finals. Conference
2000.
finals.
That's the last time we were in the conference finals to get to the finals. 2000.
Oh,
sound about right. Too.
That was
so we
the
might
year
have.
we lost to the
Wow.
Spurs. Yes. 2000.
And what year are
I
we in
wasn't
right
even
now?
born.
2025.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, Dre,
wow.
that's what I'm saying. So shut up with your shit. That's what I'm saying. This silence is over. That's what I'm saying. That's 25 years ago. You know
Oh
how
my
old I
god.
was? My first heartbreak, 11 years old. I'm like, we going to
Oh.
the finals and we gonna win. And then we ran into the Twin Towers.
Man, I wasn't even a thought, man. That's crazy.
Bruh, I was so heartbroken. I'm like, fuck.
I wonder how long Spike Lee and Spike Lee's been a fan for years
Well,
too,
Spike
huh?
Lee been a fan for years.
Been there forever, bro. I'm not
So I
gonna lie
wonder
to
how
you.
it's gonna make him feel if they get that far.
Exactly. Yes.
That man, on the field, on the court, man. I ain't gonna hold you.
Hey, he gon'
He been
if we
waiting.
win it and actually get there and win it, that's what I'm saying. So many Knicks fans, so many of us is gonna really like come together, Paul. I can see
But you
Stephen
know,
A. Smith going off. I see,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Stephen A. Smith is.
my uncle's gonna go off. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna be happy, man. Y'all gonna see me in Brooklyn just be chilling.
But what it
there's gonna
is
be a lot
too, I
of
was gonna say real quick. I was gonna say when you see your team win, it's not so much for you per se. I
Yeah,
mean, you get excited, obviously, but
right.
it's more for like your dad or your mom because
Yeah,
they've been
it's like
supporting
the
them all
people
these
who
years, and you want to see
really.
them celebrate.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was different. It's gonna be different from seeing like Kobe or the Lakers win. You know, hey, those are my teams, but my favorite player. But this is like I said, this is home court. This is home. This is like home when, like I said, when Liberty won, even though people was like, it's only the WNBA. I was like, no, man, New York won. We won. We got this.
You did
You
say that
know,
on the cast.
yeah, that's what I was like, no, this was for home. This was for us.
So that's
So,
what
and for the longest, and I mean the absolute longest fandom of a team that went this long with a drought like that, we ain't won since like the 70s, y'all. So that's what I'm saying. We doing it for them. Pat,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Patrick
It's for
Ewing
the
and them. So that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. The city gonna
that's
turn
all.
up. It's up top. We gonna burn the city down.
And I thought that quote was really cool. A quote that I heard from a player. He was like, "It's not necessarily so much like," but he wasn't saying in terms like when they win it. But
Yeah.
he's just saying like in terms of like I want to see my dad celebrate. I want to see him get the same
Yes.
enjoyment that I was
That's
able.
what I'm
Like
saying, Dre. It's gonna be a beautiful time to be
you
alive.
remember where you were, who you were with.
Exactly. It's like even when I was living in Cleveland, when they won,
Oh
I
yeah,
was like, I forgot these niggas ain't never won like that. But just to see them turn up, probably gonna be how the Knicks win if the Knicks won. And imagine that was the first for their franchise. So yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful time. It's gonna be a party.
well, and also too, that's just kind of that's crazy, man. Seeing that's so many teams because there are teams like I'm blessed to be to have the team that I have because there's certain franchises that don't even see playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, be thankful.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. We technically only really have, I think, two rings, and that's from 70 and 73. So imagine getting one in this lifetime.
In the social media era, that's gonna
Yes.
be all over social
Let's let it
media.
happen first, though. We
Yeah,
talk a
it's
lot.
gotta
We gotta
happen
see it
first. That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing: I'm still gonna be happy, Jay Will, because you know why? Once again,
Oh
we
my
dethroning
Jesus!
these fools. Yeah,
happen.
I'm happy either way, bro. I'm happy either way. Yes, we gotta get. But I didn't expect us to get.
He almost cried right there.
But here,
We didn't expect to get it.
I didn't expect us to get here. But that's all I gotta say, fellas. I'll see y'all next week. Thanks for tuning in. The Honorable Marvin Coop
Believe.
Show. Yep, believe we will get this. Exactly.
No.
So
Believe in Boston. We got this.
no, we don't. No, y'all don't. Goodbye,
You remind
everybody.
me of
Thank you.
Dallas.
Huh?
He reminds me of both Dallas. If you know, you know.
Oh, and the only thing I will say in case you do move on, two things. Number one, congratulations. And number two, thank God we got it when we did last year. Jesus Christ.
The Mickey Mouse run.
I'll take it.
Pause.
Pause. Fuck. Edit that out.
Nope. Go Knicks. Go Mets. We got this, y'all.
Go Bulls.